Anyone who thinks student loans will ever be forgiven needs to look up slabs. That was one of the most depressing things I've ever researched. If you're like me and didn't know what slabs is, it is student loan asset-backed securities, and it is a ticking time bomb. If you're new, hi, I'm Timothy, a quantitative economist and investor since 2007. I learned how to invest through 2008, and this slabs is just like it. Long story short, student loans make up about $1.7 trillion, and they've been bundled up so that investors can go into these asset-backed securities, which is exactly how 2008 unfolded. They had all of these mortgages that were getting pumped out, and there came a point where people couldn't pay those mortgages. And from an investor standpoint, 2008 happened because they bundled all of these mortgages together into an asset-backed security. The thought was that, well, if you have thousands of mortgages bundled together, there's no way that this investment could fail. It did. Now, the student loan crisis is significantly smaller than the mortgage crisis of 2008. But $1.7 trillion is nothing to really scoff at. That can be a catalyst that ticks off a bunch of other events. Now, you've got your big names like Morgan Stanley in this, which interestingly, they've been running this Ponzi since at least 2005. That's as far back as I look. And even though Morgan Stanley is a mediator, this is ran initially from the government. And considering most Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, especially the younger generations that are dealing with those student loans, the big question is what would happen if a bunch of people stopped paying their loans? To Morgan Stanley, nothing. The government would probably print some money and hand it over to them, even though they're collecting interest. To the average American with that student debt, the first thing is their credit rating would plummet. Getting out loans for other things like homes or vehicles would likely be near impossible. And this slabs may be the catalyst that sparks the 80% drop that I'm calling in the stock market. All major market crashes have some form of catalyst to set off a domino effect, as I mentioned before. This type of model, from an investor's standpoint, is a dream. And the model is clearly unsustainable. Here's an example where someone took out $180,000. They did not make more than the interest payments, and now they're at $206,000. Because people are struggling, the interest will continue to compound, and it will get to a point where they are not paid off. So a slabs crisis is not if, it's more so when. And if you are